The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland is a recently released anime based off the Promised Neverland manga, with a current total of 8.7 million copies sold worldwide. And to be honest, it's one of the best mangas I've picked up in a long time. Still love you though, my hero, you'll always be one of my favourite mangas. I mean, who doesn't love a manga about orphans getting shipped off like Domino's pizzas, ready to be eaten by demons? Only thing is, I mean, it's a bonus, you'll get them free because it takes almost 12 years to prepare them. All jokes aside, this manga is amazing in so many ways because it makes you really feel for the characters and has you on edge at almost every chapter, never missing a chance to surprise you. So that's why I'm going to be going through each episode every week and comparing the anime to the manga, as I'm sure there'll be quite a few changes in the adaptation. I'll also try to cover interesting topics related to each episode and shine some more light on them for you. I'll be going over characters we meet, information we find out about them, and just any other little things I think is worthwhile pointing out. Okay, so right from the start, we already have a slight change here. We see our three main protagonists, who I'll dive into more later, standing at the gate to Gracefield House and wondering what's beyond. However, in the manga, it starts off with Emma waking up and explaining the morning routine for everybody at the house. But don't worry, we still get that scene with Emma and some of the other characters at the gate halfway through the first chapter. Right after the first scene, we already get to hear the intro, and may I say, it's so much better than I imagined. Maybe not as catchy as Grand Blue's intro, you should really go check that out by the way, great anime. But visually, it already gives us an indirect hint to what's going to happen later on throughout the series. What am I referring to, you ask? Why, the puzzle pieces, of course. This intro is littered with them, and it's all over the background of the first part of the intro. And if you're wondering what they mean and haven't worked it out already, then maybe you should start to work out the puzzle yourself by joining all the pieces together, completing the jigsaw. Also, heads up, get ready for this character to be memed the hell out of. Oh, we sure do love you, sister. Next up, we get introduced to a few of the characters. We start off with Emma, and then go to meet Don and Connie. Oh, and how can I forget Little Bunny? I mean, do you see how cute this thing is? I want one. Whilst we don't find out their name yet, we also get to see one of my favourite characters, Glinda. Glinda is also one of the second oldest children, by the way. Just a little fact I'll throw in for you guys. Next up is Norman and Ray, the other two main protagonists aside from Emma. We find out that Emma, Ray, and Norman are all aged 11. Oh boy, here we go. Meet Nanny McPhee herself, or as the children call her, Mum. Now, don't get too attached to Mum because at the end of the episode we find out what she does in her free time. Oh, whilst we're talking about Mum, we also find out that she passed her maths exam and can count to at least 38, the number of children at Gracefield House. Anyway, it's time for the next bit of info they missed out in the adaptation. You see here, when her children's necks get shown and appear to have numbers written on them? Well, if you didn't already read chapter 1 of the manga, you'll have no clue whatsoever why they're there. But luckily for you, Emma states in the manga that they're ID numbers. Once again, it's nothing big they left out, but it's information that could have easily been placed in a mention somewhere. Moving on, we have exam time, yay! Who doesn't love exams? And these children must do them every day. Even Connie, and she's 6. Still not sure how these pen barcode things work though, can someone tell me, please? Next up, we have a game of tag and an ominous pocket watch that just seems to follow Norman wherever he goes. This part is where things start to become different from the manga and the anime again. And I have to say, the anime improves on this game of tag much more than it played out in the manga. In the anime, we see Don and Connie hiding from Norman, then getting caught, and then we see a chase with Emma and Norman. In the manga, we just see Emma running off and complaining to Ray that she lost again. So well done to the adaptation for showing us how it all went down. Moving on, we have the fence scene, and this is where things swap around a bit. Remember the start where we saw Emma, Ray and Norman looking into the gate in some weird ominous flashback? Well, this is where the flashback happened in the manga, and no one else was there, not even Norman. Like, Norman, why are you there? Stop being nosy. The conversation that took place with Ray, Glinda and the others happened back on the hill where Ray was reading a book. Ray didn't even say anything of the sort about, I'll have to survive first. God, they really made him emo in this, but good foreshadowing. Okay, this is where it changes again. And this scene had every line that Connie originally said changed. This part seems so rushed with Connie. I mean, she's leaving, can't you at least let her say a few more words? So, in the manga, Connie says stuff so much more sweeter, like she'll always have Little Bunny with her, and there's only one bunny as Mum made it for her when she turned 6. She also goes on to talk about how she wants to be a mum one day too, and love her kids as much as the children love her. However, in the anime, we just see Connie and Mum stand and have a little speech, whilst Don and Emma are crying their eyes out. Now we're moving on to one of the most knowledgeable changes of this episode. So in the anime, we see Emma and Norman chase after Connie as she left Little Bunny behind. And yes, this does still happen in the manga too, but there's a scene they missed out. Quite an important scene if you ask me. Well, for knowledge and info anyway. In the manga, we see Emma and Norman run to the front door, only to find out that Mum has locked it, as that's what she does when a child is always so-called getting adopted and leaving the house. And now you might be wondering, how do they get out? The back door maybe? Nope. We learn that Norman knows how to pick locks, and unlocks the door with a metal paperclip. So there's a skill that you didn't know Norman had. The rest of the episode flows in unison with the manga. However, we do get to meet two mysterious demons, and no, they're not related to the guy from Overlord, but they can drive a truck. The only other thing I can point out is that in the manga, they make the container that Connie went in look like a jam jar. And one last fact before we head off, if you didn't already know, the year is 2045, it's seen here right on the calendar. So there you go. That was my first evaluation of The Promised Neverland Episode 1 compared to Chapter 1 of the manga. Honestly, I really enjoyed watching the first episode of this, as I've always wanted to see this manga animated, and the children's emotions and expressions as they carry out all the actions through the series. I can't wait to see how they bring this manga to life in the next episode, and what other changes I'll get triggered by. As far as it goes, I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10 adaptation rating, as only a few minor things were changed. I'm sure that rating will drop as time goes on. I mean, I hope it doesn't, but there's bound to be some more parts taken out. There's one more thing though guys, I really want to quickly talk about our community Discord. The Wangle Line Discord is a community Discord created by myself, and now over 300 members with an active community of anime and gaming fans. So please feel free to check it out. We have movie nights, karaoke, quizzes, and so much more. So if you want to check it out, the link is down below. And if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing and leaving a like to show your support, and then I'll know that you guys want to see more of these videos. Okay, well, that's it for today, and see you guys in the next video. Don't get eaten by any demons.